Are you looking for a delicious recipe to make for Father's Day, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend? Well, today I'm going to show you guys how to make the most juicy garlic butter steak with this amazing creamy mashed potatoes. And along with that, we are going to make the most delicious asparagus. Before I begin, if you're new to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss videos like this one. Hit the video with a thumbs up and let's dive in. To begin, we are going to make our mashed potatoes. I am using 4 medium-sized russet potatoes. Make sure you wash them first. But I am going to peel them and then we're going to add them to this bowl of water. So I have my potatoes already peeled, as you can see. Try your best to cut them about the same size. It doesn't really have to be, but I always try that so they all can cook at the same time. Once you're done cutting your potatoes, you're going to place them into a bowl full of water just to remove some of the starch. The potato will be more pleasant to eat. Now it's time to boil the potato. I have a pot. It's about 3 to 4 cups of water in there. I am going to add the potatoes in. Just like this. Once you're done, we are going to add 1 rosemary leaf in there. Also, I am going to add some salt. I am going to cover it, allow it to boil for about 10 to 15 minutes until the potatoes are nice and tender. It's time to season the steak. I am using 1 ribeye steak here. I am going to pat it dry before we begin. Once you're done patting the steak, you are going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil, rub it in. I'm going to flip it over and rub the other side, just like this. These are the seasoning we'll be using: onion powder, garlic powder, ground black pepper, and some salt. I'm going to mix it together. Then we are ready to season this steak. I like to heavily season my steak. Very, very heavy-handed when it comes to the seasoning, so it can be nice and delicious. As you can see, I didn't rub it in. Don't forget the sides as well. And this steak has a beautiful amount of fat, so it's going to be nice and juicy. Flip it over and season the other side the same exact way. Once you're done seasoning your steak, you are going to set that aside and start working on the mashed potatoes. You don't want the steak to be cold, so let's get the mashed potatoes done and then we'll start cooking the steak. All right, guys, the potato is ready. As you guys can see, they are super soft, extremely, actually a little bit over, but that's okay. Let's drain out the water so we can make this mashed potato. I removed the rosemary. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter and just mash everything. And now I am going to add a little bit of whole milk in there, just like this. I like my mashed potatoes very, very smooth. So just like this. I decided to add another tablespoon of butter, and this is unsalted, by the way. I'm going to add a little bit more of that milk in. I like it very creamy, okay? And to season it, I have a little bit of salt and some garlic powder in there and mix it up. At this point, I can use a spoon. The mashed potato is nice and done. Just give it a few more stir, and as you can see, it is nice and creamy and ready to go. We're going to set it aside for now. Time to cook our steak. I have my cast iron on extremely high heat. I am going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil. Now we're going to place the steak right in. Perfect. Now we're going to cook it for about 2 minutes per side, then flip over. All right, guys, now it's time to flip the steak over. Ooh, it's looking good. Perfect. Now, as soon as I flip it over, I am going to add in my rosemary, my butter. Add the butter in. And also we're going to add our garlic. Just add your garlic in. If you can kind of press them garlic open just for better garlicky flavor, you definitely can. For that garlicky flavor. And just baste your steak. The temperature we're looking for is medium well. That's how I like mine. But it depends on how you like your steak, but I do like mine medium well. It's going to be so yummy, so tasty. Just keep basting your steak. Just keep going. All that flavor from the rosemary and the garlic. The steak just gonna soak all that flavor in. That is beautiful. Time to remove the steak. As y'all can see, it's looking good, it's smelling good, and we know it's going to be delicious. Place that steak right here. I'm gonna put all of that stuff on top of it, and we're going to allow the steak to rest. That way it can be nice and juicy. While the steak is resting, we are going to be working on the asparagus. We're going to start by cutting the end of the asparagus. These usually kind of hard to eat, so I like to remove that side. Make sure your asparagus is nice and clean, by the way. I already cleaned mine. I have the skillet on medium-high heat. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter in there. Very important, unsalted butter, because we're going to be using soy sauce and complete seasoning. They have salt already, so I'm using unsalted butter. Now, I am going to place my asparagus right in there, just like this. And we're going to cook the asparagus until they're nice and soft. I like to season them after they're nice and tender, because that way my seasoning is not burning, you know. So we're going to get them sauteed here for a couple minutes until they're nice and soft. Now it's time to season the asparagus. I have 1 tablespoon of complete seasoning. We're going to add a little bit, not all of it, maybe a teaspoon. Just add that in. Also, I have a tablespoon of soy sauce. Make sure it's low sodium. And I like to add it on the side and give that a mix just like this. Just like this. And basically this, this is done. If you like, you can add some pepper flakes in here if you like it a little spicy. And this is how easy it is to make asparagus. I like mine a little bit soft, but not too soft. Let's plate this steak, shall we? Our steak have been resting for about 10 minutes now. I am going to cut it so we can plate it. It's nice and juicy, as you can see. As you can see, the steak come out so juicy, so saucy. It's looking amazing. It's smelling amazing too. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Take a good look. Perfectly cooked steak. Just how I like it, medium well. Amazing. You guys, I did my big one with this one because the steak came out perfect. Everything came out perfect. Can y'all see how juicy? Can y'all see how juicy this steak is? And the flavor that's on here is to die for. Okay, let's try it. Ooh, it looks so good. Let's give it a try. When I tell you, when I tell you this steak is juicy, delicious, flavorful. If you never make anything on my channel, this steak right here is a must try. It will be a unforgettable Father's Day meal that the dads will love and ask for it again and again. It's so saucy, so juicy, and so delicious. I hope all the fathers out there have a wonderful Father's Day. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's recipe. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm watching you. If you're watching, you're not subscribing, what are you waiting for? Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next recipe. Bye, guys.